Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I'm excited to chat with reality TV competition star Rob Roman. Rob stars in the hit Hulu series Got to Get Out, battling it out amongst reality TV royalties such as Spencer Pratt, Omarosa, Cynthia Bailey, just to name a few. Rob takes his shot as a reality TV rookie amongst 20 contestants with a chance to win up to $1 million. The show's hosted by Simu Liu and it premiered on April 11th. Rob may be familiar to those in the reality realm as he competed in the first season of the hit competition series Squid Game: The Challenge over on Netflix. Rob's goal has always been to support his family. One of his most recent ventures is HC Roots, or Home Care Roots, a home health care company that provides skilled nursing and caretaker services for medically fragile children. It's completely free for families. Outside of his philanthropic endeavors, Rob has served in law enforcement for over 11 years in New Jersey, where he was born and raised. He was the youngest to make detective and to make sergeant in the history of his department. I'm excited to talk to him about his time on the show. There's going to be a lot of spoilers for Got to Get Out, so go watch it right now and then come back and check out my interview with Rob. It's a lot of fun and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great. Thank you so much for making time. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, of course.
Man, I just got done watching, I guess just last night, finished watching Got to Get Out. Uh, and I don't watch a ton of reality shows. That was a blast. That was a hoot. Um, I'm curious to know. I know you police sergeant in New Jersey, but any day job, how do you go from that to? I know there's a casting process between that and getting kidnapped into a black van in Squid Game: The Challenge. Like, how did you decide, or what prompted that to 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 even try out for reality?
Yeah, so it was after 2020, after COVID. So I, for 5 years, was a SWAT operator, and we had a actually in 2019 we had a terrorist attack in New Jersey, and my specialty was in hostage rescue. So after that, then COVID hits, and we have a lot of protests where my SWAT team is engaged, and it was just very high stressful in law enforcement. And I'm someone that has a very positive outlook on life. So I said, I need to start doing other things than just law enforcement. And I started to make TikTok videos, believe it or not. And someone reached out to me and said, "You look like you have a great personality. We'd like you to get on a game show called You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno." So I did that. That was so much fun. Got flown out to LA, met Jay Leno. So I said, this might be something that I can do because it was very fun. So I said, all right, I have my law enforcement career, but I don't want to be dropped into one bucket. I want to do other things. And that's kind of how it drove me into the reality space.
That's really cool. Uh, I enjoyed watching you on Squid Game: The Challenge, but obviously it's a lot more fun to watch you where you're not number 339. Uh,
Yeah.
in terms of getting into these things and playing these games, was there a most surprising either show? Was there a most surprising moment of okay, I thought we were coming here to do this challenge or that challenge, but there's more game to the game. Like I don't know, I kept being surprised and Got to Get Out with both the strategies against other people and also just and I wouldn't have known how to drive a paddle shift car. I've been stuck in that driveway in F1. Uh, was there a most surprising moment when you got into these games?
Yeah. So both of them, Squid Game and Gotta Get Out. The most surprising thing is how you actually get me, me in particularly, you get attached to the people that are there. So you know that you're all there to play a game. You
Hmm.
know that you're all there to win life-changing money. But because you're trauma bonded and you're just stuck with each other 24/7, the game doesn't shut off, right?
Hmm.
So you depend on each other. There's no phones. Imagine a world where there's no phones, there's no books, there's no outside connection. In Squid Game, particularly, we didn't see the sun for 10 plus days. So you're really bonding with people who were complete strangers a couple of weeks ago. And
Hmm.
then you find it difficult to want to screw them over. That
Yeah.
is the most difficult part about doing these reality shows that maybe fans don't notice. It's you genuinely build these connections, and now you're like, okay, I have to screw them over. So that's the most challenging part that I didn't really like be able to plan for.
Yeah, I found myself like watching Doodles and Athena. and thinking like, but you're in a game. Like I don't care what showmance you make, one of you's gonna have to knife the other one at the end of this. Not necessarily in this one, you could team up, but still like that seemed counterintuitive to me. But then I started thinking back to summer camp romances and just weird, if you train with people in any kind of weekend or anything, you end up really like best friends for life by the end of it. Uh, and I could absolutely imagine losing track of the competitive what you're here to do. Uh,
Yep.
I was absolutely stunned in Ep 1. I think was it Ep 1 when you basically had the first out. Uh,
Episode 1. Yep.
yeah. Uh, Obviously, we're going to get into a little bit of spoilers. Forgot to get out. Folks, just it's the magic of streaming. Pause it here. Go watch all of the show. Welcome back. Um, it's awesome. You should have fun watching it. So in Ep 1, I was stunned by that move, and I thought, well, maybe there's a I don't know, strategy I'm not seeing here. And I know over the course of the episodes, there were a couple times in testimonials where you seem to regret it a little bit. But honestly, I think you made the right move there. I would have done the same thing. I watched shit, I still think of him as Liar Steve. Uh you could have easily been that dude. There's no guarantee that you it I know it felt like a guaranteed out, but there's no guarantees. We watched a lot of great outs fail. Uh do you looking back on it in total of the show for what it took to live in that house for 10 days and try to make any other strategies, do you feel like you made the right decision?
I don't regret the decision, not even 1%. So in there,
Good.
I started to regret it a little bit because the intensity starts picking up. But my decision was made based on, again, the show shows it like a full day is going by. When I get the exit strategy with the Lamborghini key, my escape is in 15 minutes.
Got it.
So it's not like it's this long, drawn out process. I go to the watchtower and then I have to like get ready to go.
Yeah.
So I don't regret it because there was three reasons why I made that decision. All right. The first reason is I made a promise to God for blessing me with this opportunity. I mean, thousands of people applied, 20 were chosen, but really only 10 I was competing with because reality rookies, right?
Hmm.
So I get chosen. Yes, I'm going to try to take as much money as possible, but I made a promise that I would not be greedy and take at least one person with me. Right. So if I've already made that, I'm a faith-based man. If I already made that promise, I'm not going to break that promise with God. Right. So yes, I'm going to take money, but I have to split it. And at that point, splitting 112,000 wasn't worth it
Right.
because as my calculations, as you see in the show, if I just make it all the way to the end, I could win
Right.
50,000. I wouldn't
Yeah.
risk 6,000 to leave the first day. Right. So that's one. Two was I had this opportunity to be in a mansion for Hulu reality TV with rock stars. Like I'm not leaving day 1 or 2. It's just
Right.
not happening. Like I want to see these games. I want to see these competitions. I want to be able to try to win more money. It just wasn't going to happen. I needed to be there, right? And then three, in Squid Game, I didn't screw anyone over and I built genuine friendships. I mean, I've traveled the world with people from Squid Game. I've celebrated Thanksgiving with them. I actually have a business with two people from Squid Game that is my favorite business and my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. Right. So I took that into the show and said, hey, I can build genuine friendships here with good people, still make money, but not screw anyone over. And then this will last the longevity of my life and not just 10 days. So that's like what made me really say, okay, I'm not going to screw everyone over, the first episode and steal all this money for myself.
I got to say, I laughed really hard when you managed to get Steve to hit the button right when they put the cage out. After everybody
Yeah.
tried to get him to do it, and it was perfectly timed, man. I feel like you might have pranked somebody at some point in your life, because yeah, you just let it settle perfectly and then went for it, and it was hilarious. Um, was there? I assume you've now gotten to see the show. I don't know how that feels to watch yourself,
Yeah.
but I assume you've gotten to see how they actually edited it and what it looks like now. Are there any exits that maybe you didn't know were happening at the time that you're most surprised didn't work? I was
So,
stunned that Ghillie
no.
Suit didn't work. I can't believe
Yeah,
they,
no,
they
I caught basically I was one of the defensive people. I've most,
yeah.
you see Susan pull the lever a lot. I was always up there with her. I actually
Hmm.
taught her, and if you ever speak to Susan, you could ask her, she'll tell you. I taught her how to catch people at night using the light as an advantage to capture shadows before they even run.
And she
Right.
did,
So like,
she pulls that off a couple of times. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, every escape I knew was happening. There are there are about 15 plus more escapes that aren't in the show, right? Maybe someone got caught immediately going out the window,
Right.
or someone got caught before the run. So it's not good TV, but
Right.
there were a
Right.
lot more escapes.
I was kind of
So
wondering.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot. There was a ton of escapes. So there wasn't actually any that I wasn't because I was. I mean, thank God I'm not addicted to energy drinks because I was drinking Rockstar Focus like 5 of them a day. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't letting anyone steal anything. So yeah,
That that was one of the there was a lot of stuff about the show that slowly would settle in to me as a viewer. Where yeah, you'd heard the rules, but maybe you don't see how they're going to stack up or how it's really going to play out. Uh, the loss of a clock and the changeover to money running as a clock was wild. Just as it slowly dawned on me that I don't know what sense of time you guys have over 10 days. What does an hour mean after day 3 of a money clock? Uh, and then just the little changes to the game, just realizing that there's enough people in this house that it's genuinely hard to escape without being seen. Uh, as people try and fail, I mean, you have an opportunity when you still could have maybe done it as one guy. That's over
yeah,
really quickly. Uh, just watching these things stack up and it slowly dawning on me. This game, you got to be not a reality. I know you're the rookie comparatively, but you've at least been on
yeah.
Squid Game. Did you find yourself watching like the Spencer Pratts or the Omarosas and going, "Oh man, y'all played a lot of mind games with people in a house for 10 days." I was stunned sometimes in
Yeah,
Omarosa trail like, oh my God, Omarosa trailing doodles and Athena was hilarious. Uh,
yeah. The funny part, I think I went into this game with an advantage. I didn't know who any of them were. Like I thought that we were all 20 rookies. I thought I had the
hmm
most reality TV experience. I'm like,
hmm
okay, hopefully no one notices me from Squid Game. I didn't know who Omarosa was, Spencer, Val. So I went in there not starstruck. I know some people made decisions based on who they liked in reality TV, right?
hmm
I didn't know until about day two that they were on shows, right? Because now this was just kind of going through the house. So I just went in there as they were normal, regular people, which gave me an advantage because I could one build a genuine friendship with people, and two, not be influenced by my decisions because of who they were in the real world.
If you got invited back for an All Stars either game, do you have a preference? Squid Game or
Oh,
Got to
gotta
Get
get
Out?
out. It's not even close. I
See, it
mean, it's
seemed
not
like it
even
was more
close.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's just when you have 20 people, you're so much more involved, right? In Squid Game, there's 456 of you.
hmm
There's a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of what's going to happen. This show is active all day. I mean, you don't see it, but 24/7, this game is on. You can be having a bowl of cereal and someone is trying to run out, right? This is
hmm
this was by far, and it's not even close. They're not even in the same like league about which one I would do. It'd be got to get out for sure.
Slowly realizing that somebody's standing in all the windows almost all the time. And on the one hand, you got to rotate shifts, but you can't fully trust the other shifts. I
Hmm.
could see why over 10 days it would destroy my sleep. Uh,
Yeah.
there's just be no
And
way to be
well,
cool.
one of the best things for me was after not taking that. So again, me deciding not to take the Lambo was it was twofold, right? It was one, I wasn't ready to go. I didn't want to make I made these promises, but it was two, I only made this speech to build trust. Right. Like I wasn't making this speech for any other reason than building trust. I could have just kept the key in my pocket and
hmm
not did anything. Right.
hmm
Kim didn't even attempt, right? She just
hmm
kind of hit the button or whatever. I was going, that was a strategy, right? And it was a strategy that worked because you see it throughout the show, but even more behind the scenes, I was involved in almost every escape,
Yeah.
some way or the other. Like, and again, no spoilers, but you don't see me running much
hmm
because I had three alliances going at once that didn't know about it. If I get caught running, then they know I'm part of somewhere else.
Right.
So I was always either at the window, at the button, in the watchtower, doing something else with three different groups, and they all trusted me because of that day one decision.
Yeah.
So it worked. It worked in my favor for sure. But yeah, so no plans really ever fooled me because one way or the other, one of the four involved would kind of try to get me involved.
I started thinking about that. I think when it's fairly late in the season when Spencer brings you in on his league of escape
Yeah,
artists kind of thing.
Ocean's 11, we're
Yeah,
calling it.
uh, and and I thought, man, as solidly as Steve accidentally branded himself Liar Steve, uh, you're a nice guy. Like you're trustworthy, like from the start because of that Lambo thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could see that paying off slowly as there start to be more escapes and it gets harder and harder and harder that no, if you could just keep your mouth shut, whoever gets to the gate thinks you're their guy.
Yeah, and how I would sell it. I mean, I have plans again that's not shown. I have plans with Liar Steve. I have plans with Doodles, with Kim, uh, Val, Steven, Spence. Like I almost had a plan with everyone. Susan. The only couple people was probably Demi. Who else? Demi, Cynthia, Stein. Like I didn't really have a plan with them, but the whole house I had plans with, and it was because of that day one, right? And not running because again when they would get caught, when they would come back in the house, I
Right.
would tell them, hey, this is our advantage. They don't know I'm involved. Don't tell anyone. Really, which I just didn't want to get outed, you know?
No, that's great though.
Yeah.
So do you have a do you have a game that you a show that you wish you I mean I know Got to Get Out I didn't know it existed a year ago. Uh
Yep.
wouldn't have known. Do you have a show though that you think, man, I would wreck that?
Yeah. It's funny because if there was a show that, all right, there's two answers to this. One, I think I would completely dominate a show where there's no stealing money. Like, no, like it's just living there, filming me live life. I am a fun, wild, cool person. I think that I have some good humor. I think that I'm good TV when I don't have to backstab anyone, right? Like, if you just kind of filmed me living life, right?
Hmm.
Whatever kind of show that would be, I would, the fans would love it, right? Because then I don't have the always questioning myself. I really don't want to hurt this person. I don't want to screw this person over. So for sure that. And on the other end, anything that, again, I never even watched Dancing with the Stars
Hmm.
prior to now. Val's one of my best
Yeah,
friends.
but now you know, yeah.
We're so close. I mean, when I go to LA, I stay at his house. When he comes to Jersey, New York, I let him borrow my car. Like we're very, very close friends. And I got to watch Dancing with the Stars in October. I would love to do that because again, that's a competition where I'm not stealing anything from anyone, right? It's just
Right.
a competition. So anything that's involving a competition where again I don't really have to backstab anyone
Right.
would be good for me for sure.
Yeah, competitive but not devious is definitely how
Yeah,
you come off on that show. And folks that know your social media, I know you didn't get to show off your dance moves. You're on a show with a Dances with the Stars guy, but you got moves, man. I
yeah,
think you could do all right. And
yeah. I think I got some moves. I love I come from a Puerto Rican, so I'm Puerto Rican and Italian. And my Latin side of my family is very big, and we have a lot of parties. So there's a lot of dancing, so a lot of side to side bachata, a lot of having a good time for sure. So it's my little secret weapon.
uh, one last question. I know I probably laughed hardest at Susan accidentally sleeping through an exit strategy. That feels like a college me thing to have done. Uh, did you have a an absolute funniest, like you just can't believe moment in the show?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So Susan's plan, which it doesn't show, I was actually involved in. I was in the window, so that kind of really messed me up. Um, I guess I would say funny. The funniest moment, yes, actually, yes. And we see this in the show briefly, but this was extended. When I'm in the birdcage and I'm yelling at Rashad, the
Hmm.
former NFL running back, and he's yelling back at me. And that's very brief. If you remember that part.
Hmm.
So in real life, it happened a lot longer, and we're kind of like really going at each other. There's a lot of money on the line. I worked with him. I felt like he screwed me over. And then as we're yelling at each other, in my head, I'm like, what am I doing? This guy is a monster. So I said, I'm in the cage, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to talk my stuff now in the cage. But when you let me out, I'm going to be quiet. Like I kind of let the game get a little too much for me. Where
Like,
I'm
wait a
like, all right,
minute.
let's not argue with this monster of a human being. Yeah.
That's great. Man, thank you so much for talking to me about it all today. People should go
watch the show right now. You're a blast on it. It's a fun show.
Thank you.
Really, really happy to get to chat with you about it.
Well, I appreciate you having me. To me, this is very surreal. I'm a civil servant. 11 years as a law enforcement officer. I never in a million years thought that anybody would want me on their podcast and anybody would be interested in watching me on TV. So this is a humbling experience. It's a great experience. I feel very blessed. So thank you for having me.
Well, unfortunately, no cash prize at the end, but it's a pretty easy escape.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day. Great chatting with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.